Hi, thank you so much. Happy to be here with you guys for this week and really happy to be sponsoring. So I'm going to talk a little bit about OzTREKK. If you guys didn't see our highlights on our Instagram takeover a couple of weeks ago, you can check that out too. But for those of you who don't know, I'm going to talk a little bit about OzTREKK, a little bit about our universities, degrees, why you should really consider studying in Australia, admissions criteria, and then kind of what happens after you graduate. Actually, if I could just get everyone, I know it's going to be obviously health science focuses. I've brought out a few of our health science programs that we deal with to talk about, but if anyone's interested in something other than medicine, I'll chat about it. But otherwise, I'll kind of be mindful of time and just stay focused on the programs that those of you are interested in. So if you could just type in the chat the program that you're looking at mostly, that would be awesome and help me. But a little bit about me. So I'm a territory manager for OzTREKK. I have lived and studied abroad in the UK actually. So that's kind of how I got into this field. And my role really is outreach for OzTREKK. So letting students both from high school and university know about their options for studying programs in Australia, and mainly kind of how we make that process really easy. So our role at OzTREKK is to help you through every step of the way, and all of our services are completely free. So I know David mentioned that you have to look into every school, all their prerequisites, because it's different. That's a lot of work for you. And obviously it's very competitive. So it's a lot to actually go forward to apply to medical school or any type of professional program for that matter. So our role is to make that as least stressful as we possibly can for you if you're applying to any of our university partners. So we actually have 14 different university partners, what I'll talk about in the next slide there. But really it's my role is to chat to people kind of at the beginning, that first bubble there. So talking about your options, getting your questions answered, what might be the right fit for you. And then once you're ready to apply, you can apply to multiple universities at the same time. So you don't need 10 billion reference letters. You don't need anything like that. One set of transcript. Most of our applications don't even need a recommendation letter. I know it's very different from applying to med school here in Canada, but it really is a pretty straightforward process. We walk you through accepting your offer, and then all things pre-departure as well. So really nice for especially high school students, because it is a big move if you're going to be starting in Australia, especially if you're going to be starting a professional program right out of high school. So we want to make sure that you're not only comfortable with the program you've chosen, ready to start your education, but also ready for your new life in Australia. So we have one of our directors every year, she heads over. We have a big OzTREKK shuttle. We take students to Costco, IKEA, meet and greets, orientations to make sure that you are meeting people, creating a community to start your program, and really just everything that we can do to make it, like I said, as stress-free as we possibly can. So these are our university partners here. We have 14 different university partners, actually 13 in Australia, 1 in New Zealand. So a wide range depending on what you're looking for of the experience. So if you really want tropical, hot, your typical Australia, learn to surf, James Cook University, Queensland might be a nice option for you up on the Gold Coast there. If you're from a big city and you want to stay in a big city, Sydney and Melbourne are often compared to Toronto and Vancouver. And again, that's something that we can help you with. It's our role to help you decide which program, which university might be the best fit for you, and to help you move forward with that application process. So these are we work with all of our programs. So every single program that our universities offer, we can help you apply to. So whether it is a life science program, an undergraduate degree, a med science program, marine biology, whatever it might be, we can help you. But the main ones I'm going to focus on today are your opportunities for professional healthcare programs directly from high school. So in essence, saving yourself 4 years of an undergraduate degree and moving right into medicine. If you know that's where you want to end up, saving you a little bit of time and getting you started applying right from high school to these programs. Obviously, there's a range of undergraduate programs as well to look for, which we can help you with as well. So the general application timeline, so it's a little bit different. So for those of you that are going into grade 12, you are going to be starting your application process in January. So roughly about a year before the programs begin. Most of our programs start in January and February, which is the Australia version of September. So they start after their summer like we do. Here, it just happens that their summer is our winter. So a little bit confusing with that. But you're going to want to start your applications in January, February of your final year. So whether it's your final year of high school or your final year of university, getting all your documents into us, interviews, program applicable. A lot of our med school programs do have interviews, of course. Offers are issued in the fall, and then our entire pre-departure phase happens in kind of November to January, when our students are getting ready to head over to Australia. So we get to know our students really well. Most of our admissions officers are chatting to our students at least a year in advance before they're going. So that's one of the things that I know that they love most about their job, because it's really a full circle moment when their students get on that plane and start their program. So a few reasons why study in Australia. So as David said, it's obviously very competitive here. Limited places at Canadian universities. I know the GPA stats that you mentioned there, David, are pretty ridiculous for someone to have and then not get into med school. So one of the other things is that it's because you're applying as an international student. It's not that it's less competitive, because they still have the same standards for their medical students, but you're competing against other international students only. So that's really important to note. And you don't need, if you're applying directly from high school, there is no need for an MCAT or anything like that. So it is a really straightforward process. And all of the universities that we work with are very highly ranked, world-renowned institutions. You are going to be getting a quality education, whether it's for medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, whatever it may be, or an undergraduate program. They do have 3-year bachelor degrees as well, again, so saving you a little bit of time to get you started just that much earlier on your future career. All of our universities, again, student support, hands-on approach, especially for students that are coming directly from high school. There's a lot of there's specific accommodations for high school students or under 18 students as well, which is really important. I know that's really important to a lot of parents too. So our admissions officers chat to parents all the time as well. And then obviously the beautiful climate, beaches, cities. If you follow OzTREKK on Instagram, you can see what all of our students are up to. It's usually about their traveling vacations or them studying on the beach. So really just kind of the lifestyle. I always like to say it's very similar in terms of Canada. So in terms of healthcare, education systems, legal systems, that's one of the reasons why all of our programs you can come back and practice in Canada, because Canada knows that you're getting a quality education there. But definitely one of the reasons that students love it. So I didn't see anybody come back with anything other than medicine. So I will, in the chat, I don't believe. Oh, I see an optometry. Perfect, awesome. We do cover optometry, so I can help you with that. So I'll talk a little bit about just the difference between undergraduate and graduate entry programs. So as I mentioned, you can apply directly to these professional programs right from high school, or if you are starting your program for university, you can complete part of your university degree and then apply directly to medicine or dentistry or whatever it might be. And you can also complete your undergraduate degree and then continue on to your professional degree, same system as you would here in Canada. So we do have lots of options depending on when you are ready to start your professional program. I'll start with medicine here. I'll focus on medicine because I know that's what most students are interested in. Like I said, I just want to be conscious of time here. So we do have the Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery programs, which are 5 or 6 years. So that's coming directly out of high school. And then we also have the MD, which is 4 years, same here as Canada. So you're looking, I know the GPA requirements around a 2.7 minimum to apply. So some of our universities, you only need a 2.7 to apply. And around an 80, anywhere to an 80 or higher is competitive for a lot of our programs. MCAT, if you are applying out of university, looking around a 505 to a 512 is usually quite competitive as well, which is awesome. And as I mentioned, those places available are specifically for international students. So Some of our programs are more competitive than others, especially if they do only have 6 spots reserved for international students. But that's the reason the GPA requirements are traditionally lower than they would be here in Canada, because you're not competing with nearly as many people. It's kind of the bell curve situation in that respect. Interviews are all happening online right now, obviously due to COVID, but we do have our university partners come to Canada and conduct in-person interviews. So hopefully that will be resuming soon. And then, as I mentioned, those important dates that you're looking at and the tuition. That's one thing else that we help you with is tuition in terms of financial support and helping you, making sure that you're getting the right funds available to you to fund your investment for your medical degree. I didn't see anyone interested in dentistry, so I'll just keep that up. If you are interested in any other program outside of medicine, any other healthcare program, whether that be a professional program or an undergraduate program, I will pop a registration link in the chat, and I'll also pop my email in the chat if you do have any questions for me. Happy to answer them, happy to put you in touch with our admissions officers who can help get the process started. But as I mentioned, all degrees are transferable back to Canada. So you can complete your degree there, return to Canada. You can also stay in Australia for all of our programs and work in Australia. And there's also options to go to elsewhere in North America and the United States. So that just kind of brings home that you do have tons of different options by going to work in Australia. You're not just subject to staying there forever. So just kind of keep that in mind. And these are our OzTREKK student ambassadors. So like I said, if you don't follow us on Instagram, you'll see all of our student ambassadors do takeovers all the time to give you really kind of a lot of valuable insight into what it's actually like living and studying there. They're more than happy for you to direct message them and ask them any questions about their experience or their journey through medical school, pharmacy school, whatever it might be that they're embarking on. So I just want to kind of highlight that, and they're more than happy for you to follow on their journey as well. You can check them out on our website. But as I mentioned, I am going to put a registration link here into the chat. And this isn't starting an application or anything like that. This is literally just for more information. So if you'd like a program admissions guide, you want to speak with somebody, you want to book a call with somebody, that's kind of our bread and butter. Like I said, OzTREKK is there to really get to know our students and help them literally every step of the way, from first questions to all the way when they get to Australia and they're setting up their apartments. So I encourage everyone to register there. You'll also be invited to all of our events. So we do have a number of health science related events, virtual fairs, things like that throughout the year. So by signing up, you'll get an email about all those that you can attend, chat with our university partners directly, chat with current students, alumni, all of that, if it is something that you are considering taking the plunge on. So yeah, I just want to say thank you so much, and I look forward to continuing the rest of the week with you guys and chatting to everybody on Saturday.
Thank you, Sarah, for the presentation. We will be starting our Q&A period with Sarah. So if there's any questions you have for Sarah, do drop them in the chat. Or if there's any panelists that have questions for Sarah, this is a great opportunity for you guys as well.
I know it's not something, if you've never thought about it before, I know it is something that kind of seems overwhelming, but we send over 500 students every year to Australia. So it is a lot to think about. It's definitely not for everybody, especially to start a program, a professional program like medicine or dentistry right out of high school. So yeah, definitely something that we can help and walk you through. Even if you do decide that you want to start an application and you get into a Canadian university that you want to pursue, like I said, we're totally free. So we'll just cancel your application and not an issue. Quick overview of the optometry program. Yep, so the optometry program is going to be the exact same as it is here. So there would be a bridging program for optometry if you were to practice back in Canada. But other than that, it's going to be the exact same application process. You're going to be sending in transcripts, getting in touch with our admissions officers, no recommendation letters or anything like that required. It's really just transcripts and starting that application with us. So yeah, it's pretty easy. It's going to be the exact same as it is for a Canadian university. As I mentioned, Australia and Canada have very similar healthcare and legal systems. So we do a lot of law programs too. And they're some of the easiest because everything is so transferable back to Canada. There's also other optometry programs that are a little bit different in terms of master's programs rather than going into the professional program that are geared towards optometry, which you can start with, which a lot of our students do as well. So lots of different options for optometry, and I can definitely put you in touch with our admissions officers to get that started if you want. Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the health science programs. I think medicine and dentistry are definitely our most popular. Pharmacy, public health, all of those kind of different programs, they have options for. Like I said, any program that our universities cover, we can help you apply to. And most of our universities waive the application fee as well. So even if you are applying to 9 medical schools in Australia, you won't need to pay anything. The Ontario Medical School. So we kind of work as that for Australia, except we're free and we do everything else in terms of pre-departure, but really kind of just narrow down all of that for you. We do have nursing. Yep, we do have nursing as well. Are there interview portions? Yes, so some of our universities do have interviews, especially for medicine and dentistry. Actually, this year, because of COVID, a few of our universities have actually scrapped interviews altogether. So universities that would normally send representatives to Canada to conduct in-person interviews, they've stopped interviewing as well, whereas some have continued to do Skype and Zoom interviews as they did even before COVID. So that is something. We do a lot of interview prep through OzTREKK as well. We do webinars before interviews roll out so that you're getting as much support as you can to kind of ace those interviews. But even some of our medical schools don't have interviews. So it would just depend on the program that you're applying to. Perfect. Yeah, like I said, if there are any other questions, you can email me directly, just sarah@oztrekk.com, or you can fill out that registration page and get an email directly from our admissions officers with an admissions guide that tells you all of the different application documents that you'd need, all the programs that are offered, and really just all the general frequently asked questions kind of material to help you get started.
If there aren't more any questions, thank you to Sarah from OzTREKK for sponsoring us and for coming out and doing this panel, introducing what OzTREKK does.